Shulang stood before the mirror, the cool fluorescent light brushing against his features. The man staring back at him was no longer the bright, idealistic researcher he once knew. His eyes had lost their spark, now calm, composed, and faintly shadowed with exhaustion. Slowly, he buttoned the crisp white lab coat over his shirt, sliding a pen into his chest pocket like a soldier sheathing a blade. A quiet, practiced smile touched his lips, but it didn't reach his eyes. He turned, leaving the reflection of his younger self behind as he stepped out to face a new day at Changling Pharmaceutical. The conference room had been transformed under his care, files sorted, samples neatly labeled, every trace of chaos replaced by order. Even the faint aroma of fresh tea drifted through the air, prepared carefully by Huang Kemin. They were expecting a guest today, an investor whose identity no one seemed to know. Huang Kemin had kept it a secret, saying only that the man held deep pockets and deeper influence.
Shulang didn't ask too many questions. He never did.
Still, something about the mystery stirred an uneasy ripple in his otherwise calm heart. Then the door opened. Huang Kemin's booming laughter filled the room, followed by a line of sharply dressed figures. Polished shoes clicked against the floor, briefcases gleamed, and confidence radiated from every tailored suit.
Shulang rose from his seat, his professional smile already forming. But the moment he looked past the crowd, the world seemed to stop spinning. From behind them, walking with quiet authority, was a face he knew all too well. The immaculate gray suit, the gleaming cufflinks, that precise, measured smile. It was Fan Xiao. For an instant, Shulang couldn't breathe.
The memories, the anger, the humiliation, the fight, they came crashing back like waves against a shore. The job offer, the high salary, the perfect opportunity. They weren't blessings. They were bait. A trap. Fan Xiao's trap. His hand clenched at his side, nails digging into his palm, but outwardly he didn't flinch. He swallowed down his fury and extended his hand with a steady calm. "Hello, President Fan," he said, his voice smooth as glass. Fan Xiao took it, too firmly, too deliberately, his thumb brushing across the back of Shulang's hand in a gesture that lingered just a second too long. Huang Kemin, oblivious to the tension simmering between them, beamed with relief.
So you two already know each other.
"I was worried there might be awkwardness. Seems I was overthinking things," he said cheerfully. Shulang only smiled, his tone polite, distant. "President Fan worries too much," he replied evenly. When has someone like him ever lost his sense of propriety? But inside, his pulse pounded like thunder. Fan Xiao, the one man he swore never to see again, was now sitting across from him, as his boss, his investor, his inescapable shadow. The meeting dragged on, words and numbers blurring together. Every time Fan Xiao spoke, his voice carried the same calm dominance that had always unsettled Shulang, gentle in tone, but sharp with control. By the time the break arrived, Shulang excused himself quietly, needing air, needing space. He walked down the long corridor, past the closer restroom, toward the one at the far end of the hall. The old door creaked when he pushed it open. He lit a cigarette, the flame trembling faintly as he inhaled. The silence felt heavy, until the hinges screeched again, and another figure stepped in. Fan Xiao. Of course. His presence filled the narrow space effortlessly, the faint scent of his cologne cutting through the smoke. He washed his hands at the sink beside Shulang, the water running clear and cold. "Was Director Yu waiting for me?" he asked casually, his reflection flickering in the cracked mirror. Shulang exhaled a slow stream of smoke and replied, "I was." His tone was quiet, restrained, but beneath it burned anger barely contained. Fan Xiao met his eyes through the mirror, a faint smile curling at his lips. "You look good in a lab coat," he said softly. The words made Shulang's stomach twist. He wanted to strike him, to wipe that faint smirk away. But instead, he took another drag, steadying his voice. "Do you want to control my life, Fan Xiao?" The question hung between them, heavy and sharp.
Fan Xiao didn't answer immediately.
He flicked water from his hands, reached into his pocket for a cigarette, and leaned closer. "Let me light mine off yours," he murmured. Shulang's jaw tightened. He crushed his own cigarette flat against the concrete sink. "Sorry," he said coldly. The flame went out. For a brief second, neither spoke. The tension was suffocating, pressing against the walls like an unseen storm. Then Shulang's voice cut through the silence, colder now.
"Didn't it hurt when I beat you last time?" Fan Xiao looked at him and smiled.
"It did," he said. "I was in the hospital for half a month." Shulang nodded slightly. "Then why keep provoking me? Looking for revenge?" Fan Xiao's gaze softened. "No," he said quietly. "It's not revenge. There's been a misunderstanding between us." Shulang let out a bitter laugh. "Misunderstanding? You call manipulation and deceit a misunderstanding?" Fan Xiao took a step forward, his voice low. "I admit I did those things," he said. "But I can explain." Shulang's laugh was cold, razor-thin. "Your explanation is that you used my mentor to trick me into coming here, isn't it? So you could control me all over again?" He advanced, his anger finally surfacing. "You don't care about Changling or the research. You just want control. You want control over me." In one swift motion, Shulang grabbed Fan Xiao by the collar and slammed him against the wall. "You think I can't live without you? That I can't survive outside your reach?" Fan Xiao didn't resist, not at first. He looked at Shulang, his voice steady. "You want to leave Changling? This was your dream, to return to research, to make something real." Shulang's eyes flashed with fury. "I would rather abandon my dream than see you again. Even thinking of you disgusts me." "You're garbage, Fan Xiao. Stay where garbage belongs, out of my sight." He turned sharply toward the door, his footsteps echoing harshly in the tiled room. But before he could leave, Fan Xiao's voice stopped him cold. "You can leave Changling," Fan Xiao said evenly. "But then Changling will have no reason to exist." Shulang froze. "What do you mean?" he demanded. Fan Xiao leaned back against the wall, cigarette now between his lips. "If you leave, the contract your mentor signed will collapse. 20 days, Shulang. That's all he has to finish process optimization. Fail and the breach fee will destroy him." Shulang's eyes widened in disbelief. 20 days? That's impossible. Why would he agree to that? Fan Xiao smiled faintly, smoke curling from his lips. "Because I told him my father needed to see results. I told him he'd have 6 months, no matter what the paper said." Shulang's heart dropped like a stone. Every move, every signature, every word, all part of Fan Xiao's design. "You think I care about Changling's survival?" he asked bitterly. Fan Xiao's gaze softened again, a strange mix of power and pain. "You do," he said. "You care about everyone except me." For a moment, the silence between them wasn't anger. It was something deeper, heavier, almost sorrowful. Then Shulang clenched his fists and spat the words out like poison. "So you used to control me from the shadows, and now you're doing it in daylight?" "If that's what you think," Fan Xiao replied quietly, "then yes." That was the last thread of patience snapping inside Shulang. He swore under his breath, storming out, every step trembling with fury. Fan Xiao followed, instinctively, calling out his name. But before he could reach him, the restroom door rebounded violently. It slammed straight into his face with a loud, painful thud. A muffled grunt escaped his throat, and blood began to trickle from his nose, warm and slow. Shulang didn't look back. His silhouette disappeared down the corridor, leaving Fan Xiao alone in the echo of his own choices. If you thought episode 9 was intense, just wait. The storm between you Shulang and Fan Xiao has only begun. What will happen when love and vengeance finally collide? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss episode 10's spoiler breakdown.